Hey guys, Dr. Nick over at SCR3. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about strength and conditioning and some of the recent research that's come out of the strength and conditioning world. So in April of 2020, a new paper came out by Kubo et al. In the Journal of Strength and Conditioning, looking at the number of repetitions that we do in a set, and then the changes that we saw in the amount of hypertrophy that we had, as well as our gains in absolute strength, or our ability to push as much as we can at one time. So the variables that they were looking at was not only number of repetitions, but also these represent differences in absolute load. So the four rep group was 4 reps until they reached failure. The 8 rep group was 8 repetitions until they reached failure. And then 12 was 12 repetitions to failure. After a 10-week program of exercising 2 times per week using a bench press, what they found was that the hypertrophy in the pectoralis muscles was the same across all of these groups. However, what they found was that the amount of absolute strength was higher in the group that lifted the heavier load, that being only 4 repetition maximum. So we can obviously do more load and we can push more weight 4 times than we can 12 times. So it seems as though specifically training our ability to push the most amount of weight correlates a lot better with our adaptations over a training program than necessarily lifting a higher number of repetitions. So we can see that the strength gains weren't necessarily mediated by hypertrophy, but were more mediated on a neurological level. Basically, whenever we want to lift heavier weight, what we want to do is we want to recruit the largest number of motor units as possible. So every single unit of musculature could be considered a motor unit. And when we train ourselves to recruit more motor units with heavier resistance exercise, then we're able to, down the road, stimulate adaptations that allow us to lift higher and higher and produce more absolute strength. So in the end, if we're looking for absolute strength, keep the reps low and keep the resistance high.